Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen Nero back with another one. Today's topic is something that's been going around a lot, especially on Twitter and within the gaming community, and even on YouTube. I've been seeing a handful of YouTubers making videos about it. Next Gen refresh. So allegedly, a PS5 Pro is allegedly coming next year, 2024 or 2025, and supposedly mid-gen or next-gen Xbox is coming 2026. That's words from Colt Eastwood. I don't know why anybody would take what that guy says, no shade, but I'm not, taking what he says as facts or as insider information. Especially when Xbox themselves have came out and said that, you know, not to expect a new Xbox for, a little while now. So I'm thinking, maybe 2028, 2029 is when we might see the next generation. But it's funny to me because we're coming up on 3 years into this generation, and we still been getting a lot of cross-gen games, and arguably even the games that are next-gen only. I believe a lot of these games started, being developed on last-gen consoles to begin with. Now, for my tech nerds out there, you already know what's in the. If you know anything about the tech that's inside of the Series X, Series S, and the PS5, then you know all three of these consoles is very capable for what they are aiming to deliver, and it is up to the developers. It is up to these devs to utilize all the features in these consoles. A lot of devs is being lazy with the FSR implementations. They're being lazy with the resolutions. They got this mindset where it has to be fidelity, 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 fidelity first, 4K first, and then we'll go and figure out whatever frame rate we need to do next. A lot of these games just have not looked impressive, but I will say, if it's any company that don't need a next gen refresh right away, it's Xbox. And I say this because Xbox was the first company to discontinue last gen consoles. To this day, Sony is still making PS4s, right? It's still selling them. People are still buying them, but you have to be crazy to go buy a PS4 in 2023. In my opinion, that's just my thoughts, right? This is opinionated video, especially when the Series S is sitting right there for $299. Xbox discontinued the Xbox One about what, a year and a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, and they've all their first party studios have been focusing on next gen only games, and that's why I'm like, we have not got a consistent enough slate of just pure next gen only titles to even say we need a bigger boost in power. Why should we give these developers more power to use when they're not using the power that's at their hands right now? They're not using all the features of the Series X. The RDNA2, like all of the features in it, the velocity tech, the direct storage, like none of this stuff is really being utilized. You know, you can even argue the PS5 is not fully being utilized to its full capabilities. We heard so much about this, that, and the third about this SSD, and then in most performance tests, Digital Foundry or Analysta Bits on YouTube, shout out to him. These load times is not faster than the Series X or S most times. They're right on par. And when it is faster, right? When it is faster for the handful of times it is, it's only by a couple seconds. So I'm just sitting back, waiting to see, okay, when is these consoles going to be fully utilized, right? And it's a shame that we have to wait for certain companies to really show what these consoles is going to be capable of, right? Shout out to Sony, their first party studios. I feel like, Naughty Dog next game is going to show you, okay, this is what the PS5 could do. Sucker Punch with Ghost of Tsushima, they're going to show you, okay, this is what this console could do. Xbox, right? The Coalition. This is actually the longest stretch from a Gears mainline release. It's usually about 3 to 4 years at the most. We're coming up, it's going to be probably 5 to 6 years in total between Gears 5 and Gears 6 when it comes out. But I trust the coalition. I want them to take their time. 343, right? Halo Infinite, in my opinion, is a beautiful game. It runs smooth. It's a cross-gen title. As good as Forza Horizon is, Horizon 5, that is, right? That's a cross-gen title. Now, for my tech heads, the PS4 and Xbox One, especially the Xbox One, was already considered underpowered when they released. So these ancient Jaguar CPUs and shit like that is holding back this generation of gaming. But people want to point to the Switch. People want to point to Switch. That's not a next gen console, right? That's still considered last gen in my eyes. But people want to point to the Series S, right? And to me, that's mind boggling because I'm like, how could you say that when the Series S has more 120 FPS games than the PS5? And that's not even me trying to be a console warrior, right? Like, saying the Series S is not a next gen console or it's just, holding back gaming, it really shows how idiotic a lot of these people are, right? I was a Series S owner before I was able to get my Series X. And my Series S is near and dear to my heart before I updated to my Series X, because all I ever wanted from when I was a kid was to be able to just go from game to game to game to game. Quick Resume allows me to do that, right? Xbox is preserving these old games by giving them, first of all, let's talk about on the Series X, most of these games, these backwards compatible games, whether it's Xbox One games or 360 games, is running at native 4K. Because way before the Series X and Series S came along, we had the Xbox One X. And that whole talking point of the One X and even the PS4 Pro was, okay, look, it can do 4K. A lot of people don't know the Xbox One X has more native 4K games than the PS5. Exactly. Mic drop. So to say that we need a next gen refresh when these consoles have not been utilized to their full extent, it's ridiculous, right? And it's a slap to the face to everybody that done went out and bought a Series X or a PS5, because it's like, y'all are not even using what's right in front of you. And even the great games that came out, and Hogwarts, I love you. I gotta throw you in there, dog. I gotta throw y'all under the bus. Jedi Survivor, I gotta throw you under the bus, Respawn. I love Respawn. I wish we get a new Titanfall. I love Apex Legends. I love Jedi Fallen Order, and I can't wait to play Survivor whenever I get the chance to get it. But Jedi Survivor just got announced that they're working on ports to port the game over to the PS4 and the Xbox One. When you can't even get the game to run optimized on most PC builds and on the Series X, S, and PS5, it runs all over the place performance-wise. So it's mind-boggling to me that you're going to focus on porting that game over to last-gen consoles when you're not even doing everything and using all the tools right in front of you to get the game running fine on next-gen consoles, right? And I brought up Hogwarts because, and Hogwarts get leeway with me because that game is beautiful on all consoles, whether it's last-gen consoles or this consoles, or current-gen consoles, I should say, I'd rather say, right? But the performance left to be desired. It left room to be desired. Like, it's not locked. On the Series X and its PS5, it dropped frames. Performance mode dropped frames. And to me, that's okay, right? But the time you guys are spending on wanting to port it the last console to last gen consoles, focus on getting it ran right on these consoles, right? How many Unreal Engine 5 games is on the market, right? All this Unreal Engine 5 hype, woody woo. How many games are in Unreal Engine 5 that's on the market right now? And the ones that are UE5, like it's a horror game that's a remake of multiple horror games, and it was all packaged together. Layers of Fear. That's Unreal Engine 5. We just got that. We're about to get Atlas Fallen. That's Unreal Engine 5. Lords of the Fallen. No, yeah. It's them games kind of mix me up. Excuse me. Forgive me, guys. But you guys know what I'm saying. Um, a lot of these games are just now coming out, especially with Unreal Engine 5. So I feel like for us to not even see what these consoles are capable of for games built from the ground up, most of the best games this generation are remakes and remasters. Shout out to Xbox for bringing true next-gen games like Hi-Fi Rush. That is a true next-gen game. Can only be played on next-gen consoles. Shout out to Deathloop. Shout out to Ghostwire Tokyo. Shout out to Returnal from PlayStation. I'm not just gonna dick ride Xbox. I'm gonna give them their flowers too. But we have to hold these developers accountable for being lazy. The Series S is not underpowered. It's not weak. Okay, if you utilize what the Series S has in it, right? It's no excuse. It's no excuse. Like if you got to run games at 1080p, 60 FPS, fine. To me, that's still a next gen jump over last generation, where the Xbox One was running games at 900p, 20 sub 30 frames per second. Most gamers who go and buy the Series S is buying it because they just want to game. They want to get in on next gen gaming. Motherfuckers like me who care about that power is gonna go for a Series X or PS5. But it's a reason the Series S is outselling the Series X, right? People want to get that. People want to get in on next gen without having to break the bank. Times is hard. And the Series S is perfect for that. And it would be different if I didn't have a Series S. And I'm just speaking from the outside looking in. But I've started this generation on a Series S. The Series S was the first next gen console I was able to ever buy year one for myself. Right? So that meant a lot to me. But the Series S introduced me as a console. I'm not a PC guy. I've always been a console player. So what the Series S did for me is it let me play 120 F frames for the first time in my life as a console player. That was unheard of for console players, right? And I bring that up because it's for $299. I just experienced 120 FPS for the first time. The first two Metro games with FPS boost was running at 120, and those were the first games I played on my Series S when I got it. And I was like, wow, I see what PC guys have been talking about for the last decade. This is amazing. This is all I want. This is great. So I know the Series S is very capable of doing things. Now it's up to the developers if they want to push for higher frames or higher resolutions than needed. But if they take their time and focus on actual next gen consoles and next gen games, I promise you, this generation will be heat. It will be beautiful, great games coming from everybody and everywhere, from PlayStation to Xbox. Xbox has a clear roadmap, and PlayStation has Spider-Man 2, right? But anyway, it's a clear roadmap from Xbox. All the games they showed at their last two showcases is only being made for the Series X and S. Now, we can revisit this conversation 2 years from now, right? If the pro consoles and the next gen, the mid gen refresh consoles is not here, let's see how these true next gen consoles run, right? Let's see how Stalker 2 run, right? Let's see how South of Midnight run, Clockwork Revolution runs, Forza Motorsport. Let's really see what these consoles is capable of. If you made it this far into the video, leave your boy a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Share this out with your friends. I appreciate y'all just, coming to my TED Talk once again. But the Series S is a next gen console. And you should be proud to have a Series S. And don't let anybody try to downplay your experience with that console. Don't do that, because if all it takes is a couple Google searches and research what's in your console, as you should do before you go get any phone, before you go get any piece of technology, look at what's inside. Look at what it's capable of. And when you take the time to do that, then you realize The Series S is more than capable. It falls on these developers to take advantage of these consoles. And I believe we do not need mid-gen refreshes. I honestly believe the PS5 and the Series X can easily get through and get to 2028 without needing no pro models. Slim models, more storage, that's all fine. I feel like that's what they should be focused on, if anything. But, wanting and let me just speak for the PlayStation people, right? And, leave a comment, let me know. You go buy a PS5 Pro next year, what the fuck are you playing that's going to take advantage of that, right? Because, for one, you can't even play your backwards compatible PS4 games at better resolutions and frame rates without a patch. It's not just auto this, that, and the third, right? It don't have an FPS boost implementation. Because if that was the case, why are you guys still playing one of the best games to come out in the last decade with Bloodborne at 30 FPS? It's a reflection of, let's utilize what we have here now instead of rushing. But that's been my opinion video. This is my thoughts. I don't think we need a mid-gen refresh. The Series S is more than next gen. It's a great console. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, man. It's been real. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.